think it's probably the best depiction of a nightmare in the history of film. Rennie Harlan, who directed this film, went on to do Die Hard 2 and hired me to bail him out on a film that's now become a cult classic called The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I replaced Billy Idol, who dropped a Harley Davidson in Laurel Canyon, and because I'd been drinking too much at a roadie bar populated by Brits that got left behind in LA since the 1960s, I kind of understood the character. Anyway, I'm going to turn this over to Lisa, and we're all going to remember some events during the filming of this. But I just want to say that this movie, when it first came out, the critics were a little bit glib, and they called it the MTV nightmare film. But that was because Rennie was using the new editing techniques at that time, which had been discovered on music videos, where they cut to the beat. You cut to the beat. This had been established years before in a film directed by Bob Fosse, starring Jessica Lange and starring Roy Scheider from Jaws as Bob Fosse. And in that film, there's a sequence, it's a commercial for airline flight. It's the first time they ever cut to the beat in the history of film. Before that, it was those wonderful masters with Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire in choreography. And this is why a lot of the videos today, you can't really tell if anybody can dance or not. But Bob Fosse invented cutting to the beat. And this became MTV. And Rennie used this technique in our film, and it energized it on a different level for an audience that was growing up watching MTV. And it's not a glib compliment, it should be a good compliment. Rennie's a really gifted actor, and everybody up here has a story about Rennie. I'm going to stop blabbing and give the microphone now to her debut film in Nightmare on Elm Street, Ms. Lisa Wilcox.
I'm watching my skirt here, my dress. Okay. Anyone got a good look? No, just kidding. Yeah, it was a debut film. It was quite an experience actually getting the role, because back in the 80s, I don't know if you guys saw the Q&A today, but I talked about Barbizon Modeling School. I went to Barbizon, and I was a tomboy. I mean, I couldn't give a shit about makeup and all that. Not at all. But my sister, we were very competitive. Mom and she were going off to somewhere. I'm like, where are you going? They're going, we're going to Barbizon Modeling School. I'm like, I want to go. So we went to Barbizon Modeling School. So let's just picture Lisa Wilcox kind of now. Makeup and the hair and all of that. And that was my headshot in 1988. So I was submitted for the role of Alice. Was I called in? No. I did not look like Alice, the image of Alice, etc. Anyway, Annette Benson, who cast, I believe, almost all of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, tells me this story. They auditioned like every actress, maybe even men, for the role of Alice. and I finally got my opportunity, because I went into the reject pile of 8x10s, and hello, I was there. And I got my opportunity to audition and landed the role of Alice. I had a call back on a Friday. I was getting married, 150 people at the wedding. That Sunday, learned I'd gotten the role on the honeymoon. So it was pretty cool. The first day of filming was actually on my birthday, April 27th. So that was a really good present, right? And some of the things that I know people don't recognize me, because I had red hair in Nightmare on Elm Street, right? And I had the wonderful, humiliating experience of being in the makeup trailer and then putting a rinse on my hair. Every day, a rinse put on my hair, and it's like dripping and this and that. You've got an apron on, no makeup, and then the director, Rennie, calls a rehearsal. And you I go out, I look like a drowned mouse, you know what I mean? Doing this kind of thing. But so well worth it, so well worth it. Anyway, oh my gosh, so many scenes that I'm so fond of, I also got mugged when I was coming home one night doing it. My camera was stolen, my script was stolen at 1:30 in the morning, but boy, I knew how to scream, and that motherfucker went running. So anyway, that's just a few little, things I can say, and I'm just so happy 29 years later, standing here and talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, of which I was already a diehard fan of the first Nightmare, the second one, the third one. I've loved horror since I was, this big. So anyway, I would like to hand this off to, well, I want to, we have our beautiful toy nuker here, right?
Wanna suck mouth?
So, there you go.
Hi everyone,